Hey everyone, I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her podcast. I am joined by Ericka Nicole, founder, CEO of SILKENN, a science-backed skincare brand protecting skin from pollution, and also host of Boss Babe Reset podcast, which is super dope, y'all. So make sure you check it out. And from forensic science and beauty entrepreneurship, Erica's journey is all about bold pivots and also self care and helping high achievement women ditch the hustle culture and to live by balance and joy. Hey, Erica, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited, girl.
Me too. I'm ready.
Yes, it's like you a whole chemist for real.
More biology, but yeah,
Yes,
basically.
yes, but it's super dope because um it's just a lot of chemicals and a lot of products these days. And to know that you, as a Black woman that's into forensic science and biology and beauty, it's really dope.
Yeah, it's refreshing. I've loved beauty forever. Like, I was the girl in my mom's makeup, like in all of her products, and products were formulated very differently back then than they are today, but always been a beauty girl. And the fact that I was able to pursue science and then really mix that with something that I was passionate about is just like such a full circle moment.
That is super dope. So, from you leaving a stable, like, corporate career, it can be like extremely scary because some people be comfortable in corporate, but a lot of people is leaving corporate. What fears did you have overcoming to take that step?
Oh, a million and one fears. First off, I'm a corporate girly, okay? I love stability. I love like consistent revenue. I those things bring me joy. Like being able to know how much money I have coming in calms my soul. So taking that step and really giving up that stability and that security, it's like, girl, what are you doing? Okay. And then I come from a Caribbean household, so it's definitely like, girl, go to work, please. What is the skincare brand that you speak of? you know. So it was scary, you really have to, they say all the time, be Delulu until it becomes Trululu. And you really do have to have this undeniable, unwavering faith in yourself that is slightly delusional to take such a risk. And I'm actually very anti quitting your job, even though that was my path
Uh-huh.
until your business is generating revenue. But we just go with the flow. That was just my journey and proceed with caution.
Girl, you have to, especially that go with the flow and leave your job and stuff. I like really dragged it as far as leaving my job before I took that leap, but it was breathtaking though. But the economy is a lot different now though.
Oh yeah, we were in a whole recession. Eggs are $9, so it's quite
Girl,
ridiculous.
yes. So what inspires you to create a skincare brand that is specifically targeted in a pollution of environmental area?
Yeah, so my background is like you said, forensic science and pre-med. So I spent the beginning of my career hanging out with dead bodies every day, and then the second half of my
Wow.
career doing more toxicology, so more of that chemistry side. Toxicology is just identifying unknown substances. And I went through a very traumatic period, like a quarter life crisis, if you will, back in 2019. My dad passed extremely unexpectedly. I mean, like Sunday we were watching football, cracking jokes, and then that Monday he was gone. And
Wow.
working in a field that is just so morbid and so death centered, I was like, girl, I cannot do it. I need to go. Like, this is not for me. So I up and quit my job and decided to take what I call my self care sabbatical. So I took 6 months and I just traveled and I was living off my savings. So that was
Wow.
that was a time, but it was something that I really needed. And then I've had acne and eczema since adolescence. So when I would go to the Caribbean, my skin would be glowing, she's thriving. And then I'd go to Arizona and visit a friend, and then my eczema would flare up. And I would come back to New York to pack a new suitcase, and I start breaking out again. And I was like, whoa, what is this?
Ooh.
So I basically fell back on my science background and began doing a ton of research and due diligence on skin microbiome health and the effects of pollution on skin. I learned that bad air pollution or air pollution increases the risk of inflammatory skin conditions by over 121%. Excuse me. And I was like, oh, there's something here. And that's basically the genesis of Silken and why we're here.
Wow. Well, first off, sorry for the loss of your father.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's crazy because I lost my mom in 2019 as well. So it kind of
Sorry.
Thank you. It kind of explains how you unlocked your superpower. I don't know, something about grief and loss, something unlocks within us with some people, and it creates you to want to pursue things differently than you would before.
Especially a parent, like, that's a
Yes.
different type of grief for sure.
Yes, it definitely is. So many founders struggle with their early products development stage. How did you go from your idea to your first formula?
Ooh, so I started with where most people start. I went to Google and was like, "How to start a skincare business." And it brought up a lot of YouTube results of, like, people making skincare in their kitchen, which there's nothing wrong with, but I was like, "That is not my path. That is not my calling. That is not my ministry. We must look elsewhere." So I began contacting all of these lab manufacturers and asking about quotes and samples and a lot of learnings throughout that. There was one time I literally almost got scammed by a manufacturer. I mean, I was literally going to sign with them for some R&D formulation work, and something just told me, and it's always in the shower. I was in the shower and I just felt it in my spirit. I was like, "Girl, go on Reddit and look up this company before you wire this money." Girl, they were in the middle of an entire class action lawsuit.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
they
they
were.
almost got me. Like,
Ooh-wee.
it was crazy. So, but yeah, just like a lot of due diligence, reaching out to manufacturers, and then we finally landed on a lab that really understood our vision, that understood our low minimum order quantities, which we really needed. And it allowed me to be very hands-on in the formulation process in regards to like what ingredients I wanted, what strains of pre and postbiotics I wanted, but leave the actual chemistry of it all to the professionals.
Wow. So what's been your biggest challenge in launching it as far as like growing skin, and also just how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I mean, any having a CPG business, a consumer-based product-based business is extremely expensive. It's very capital intensive. What a lot of people don't understand is that you have minimum order quantities that a lot of labs require you to meet. Typically, they're like 5,000 on the low end, but there are some more professional labs that require you to order 10,000 units of
Wow.
one product. And for someone who's bootstrapping their company, we don't have it. So having to pitch this brand to manufacturers and you don't have any traction or proof of revenue. And it's like, I have this idea of what I want to do. This is what I want it to look like and feel like and smell like and all of these things. Are you willing to take a chance on me? So I think the hardest
Mhm.
thing for me was learning how important relationship building was, how good I had to get at communicating my vision for people to understand. So it's not just in my head, how to translate it for other people
Yeah.
to understand. And I mean, being a leader, quote unquote, if you will, like after casting vision and bringing people onto the team to help me, these are people who are leaving other careers and jobs to help you build this thing, which is also a lot of pressure. So it
Yeah.
requires you to step up in a different leadership capacity and be there for the people who are helping you build.
Yes, and it could be really difficult when you in that transitional phase because it's like you have one part of you like, "I am not giving up." Then you be like, "Man, forget this. This is too
I'm over
much."
it. This is ghetto. I'm done. I crash out
Yes,
at least once a week.
yes. You be like, "Oh, you other people, y'all can have that."
Literally.
Wow. So how do you balance like as far as being a founder, a scientist, and also a storyteller for your brand?
Ooh, you have to have a good support system because I do not do it all. So I am very type A. I'm the operations girly, the administrative girly, the science girly, the formulation. That is all me. I have my head
Okay.
of brand marketing who really pioneers our storytelling. And then we have other people on our team that really help carry different aspects. So I think as a founder and as a leader, you have to know your strengths and be willing to delegate and hire out what your weaknesses are. Because once you have everybody operating in their zone of genius, it really creates a space for you to really create something that's very, very special and very magical.
Wow. And that's amazing of having a team because some people like be stressed out and difficult finding themselves being the only team that they have and they're wearing many
Mhm.
hats. So that is a true blessing that you do have that. What advice do you have for individuals that lack that area as far as them actually growing their brand and trying to maneuver through other things?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I'm a big advocate in team. I believe that if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, you need to go with other people. And granted, having a team is a luxury. Like being able to pay people and be able to afford the people that you need to help you at a certain caliber is definitely a privilege. But what I've learned is once you get very clear on your vision and very clear on what you're building, and you really refine your messaging on how to communicate that to other people, you will find the people who are meant to build with you. So in the early days, I mean, I could not afford to pay my team their market rate at all, but they were just so in love with me, and they understood the vision and the idea, and they were excited, and they felt really connected to the brand. They were willing to work for equity or work for a discounted rate because they just saw the vision. So my advice is to get very, very clear on your vision so that you can find the people who are meant to help you build.
Man, and character goes a long way and it shows who you are as a person.
1,000%.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you help high achieving women reinvent themselves. What are the most common mindset blocks that you see?
One of them is that I have to do it all myself mentality. The other is that hustle culture and grind culture is normal. So, like going, going, going nonstop, not understanding that burnout does not lead to more productivity. It really dampers the level of success that you're able to achieve. Um, I think those are the top two because
I
the,
think
the,
so
the rest are
too.
redundant. Yeah.
Yes. The,
Yeah.
the first one I feel like you just cussed at me, but okay.
I'm not yelling at you, I promise.
So can you share a time when you had to pivot in the business and it completely changed your trajectory as far as your success?
Oh yeah. So when I first met my head of brand marketing, so actually let me rewind. So when I first started SILKENN, we were going to launch with a clay mask. I already had all this inventory. We were going to be an Amazon brand. Like that's what I could afford, and that's like the vision that I initially had. And then I wanted some help really rebranding, repositioning to get us to a more luxury prestige price point. So through my network, I actually met my head of brand marketing, Miranda, who I love so so much. And when I met her, she was like, "Girl, I can't do anything with this." She's like, "We need to scrap everything and start over." And I was like, "Excuse me, like, girl, I have all this units of inventory like in my living room. Like, we need to sell this inventory." And she was like, "No, like, I can't save this. This is not it." So, I mean, I took all the inventory, I threw it away and literally in the back of a CVS dumpster. I trusted her vision. She's like, "I promise you, if you trust me, we are going to make this thing way bigger than you ever could have imagined." And that's exactly what happened. So we scrapped
Wow.
everything. We're now launching with like a serum and a moisturizer, something that people can use more or less every day. She helped me really refine that pollution protection messaging with my forensic science background. And we are building something that I am so, so proud of. And I just know that based on the way that we're positioned, this is absolutely going to be a brand that is way bigger than I could have ever imagined. So there have been a lot of pivots and twists and turns along this journey, some extremely gut wrenching because that was all of my money at the time. I had all the inventory on a
No.
credit card. And I was like, "So what are we going to do?" Chase is going to come find me.
Wow. So what role does clarity play in making successful pivots?
Clarity is everything. Clarity is your foundation. So brand strategy should be at the base of whatever you're building. If I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't have taken a first step without having an actual brand strategist because that is the foundation and the base in which you build everything off of. I would have saved so much money, so much time, so many crash outs, so many headaches, so many sleepless nights had I had like somewhat of a roadmap to help get you there. And I use the term roadmap very, very loosely, but just having a foundational set of like what this brand is allows you to just move a lot more efficiently.
Wow. So what are your top 3 self-care practices that fit into your busy founder schedule?
Ooh, obviously skincare for one is super, super huge for me. So I love skincare not just for the products, but the sensory aspect of it all. So it's my time in the morning and the evening where I can literally massage my face. I can say my affirmations. I feel very connected to my body when I'm doing my skincare. So that's really important to me. And then working out, I'm an Orange Theory girly every day, 9 a.m. I am an Orange Theory and I love the community workout space. So I love
Nice.
having a coach and the people that I work out with. It definitely helps keep me motivated. And then what else? Oh, putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. So every night, 9 p.m., my phone goes on Do Not Disturb. You can't reach me. Don't call me. Don't contact me. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me tomorrow. So that is those are like three
Ooh,
self-care things that I
tomorrow.
do not play about. Okay.
I thought I was bad and I got mines at 10.
9 o'clock, that's it. Because I just can't turn off my phone and go to bed. I need time to wind down, to stop thinking about
Yeah.
work and emails and slow down and not scroll on TikTok as much before I go to bed. But,
Yes, yes.
safe space.
It's good when you like time limit yourself on many things because usually I really don't squirrel as much on social media. But I am a TikTok girly
Mhm.
and I'm always looking up stuff. But that self-care, staying away from social media and actually stay in touch with life itself, being in your own space, it is so refreshing.
It's extremely important. Like I tell everyone, grounding practices will literally change your life. So
Man, yes.
grounding practices, just reminding yourself that you're in your body and just learning how to be present. That's something that we have completely forgotten, I think, as a society with the rise of social media. Practice some grounding exercises, you'll feel a complete difference.
Man, yes. So how can men and women learn to say no without guilt, especially in a culture of glorifies of busyness?
No is a full sentence.
No,
It's literally
period.
that simple. I think as women in particular, and I'll get to the men in a second, I think we always feel like we need an explanation for our no. Like, no, I can't go because of, no, I'm
Oh
not feeling
yeah,
it because of, and it's like, girl, no. That's it. And I think men naturally are just a lot more comfortable with being assertive in that capacity.
that's true.
But I think the key of saying no is to just say it more often, and you don't have to be rude about it. And I'm also an advocate of when you say no to something or you decline something, always come up with an alternative. So, no, girl, like, can't make it to happy hour today, but let's do lunch next week and
Oh
give people
yeah.
another way to connect with you. So I think just getting to the habit of saying no, understanding what your boundaries are. Like for me, I do not go out during the week anymore. Like, well, clubbing wise, like throughout the week anymore. Like catch me
Right.
maybe on a Friday, probably not on a Saturday even nowadays. And those are just firm boundaries for me. I just have no interest. Like I'm
That's
trying to build
good.
a multi-million dollar company. Please, I need my rest.
Yes. I
So
love that. I love
just
that
get into
for
the
you.
habit of it.
Yes. So what does success look like for you now compared to your early career days?
Ooh, this is something I think about a lot. I think as I've matured throughout my entrepreneurship journey, I've learned to put success in categories. So success in
Mhm.
business is different from my personal success, is different from the success in my relationship. So really understanding what those buckets are. So starting with the self, making sure that I am happy and healthy. Number one, am I taking care of my body and am I taking care of my mental health? Those two things are good. All right, we can go on to the next thing. For me, though, that's my relationships. Am I making time to spend time with my family, my spouse, my friends, all of these people? Am I willing to allow them to pour into me and pour into them as well? So, are my relationships in a healthy space? And then comes the money, like, how is my team doing? How is the business growth doing? Are we hitting our KPIs and our targets? Are we doing the things that we need to do to keep pushing the needle forward? And as long as like those three buckets are moving in the right direction, then I would consider that very successful.
Yes, talk about consistency and structure.
I need
Yeah,
that. I am very type A, and, like, I'm also a Capricorn, so I am a earth sign, like, we really
okay.
appreciate things like that.
Yeah. Yes. So tell me about Boss Babe Reset podcast.
Yeah, Boss Babe Reset, that is a very personal journey for me. So, Boss Babe Reset used to be called Behind the Silk. So, in
Okay.
the early days of building Silken, I was not taking care of myself. When I tell you I was in the founder trenches, I was still working full time, still a wife, taking care of the household, trying to be a daughter, a good friend, a godmother, all these things, and build this business. Like, I was just over it and I was just extremely burnt out. And there were many times when I really just wanted to completely walk away from the business. I was like, "Girl, this is not for me. This is not my calling." Um, and I realized that if I knew I wanted to build something big, and I realized that if I was going to do so, I was going to have to do so sustainably. So I was gonna have to start putting some boundaries in place, some self-care regimens in place to make sure that I'm able to build what I know that God has called me to build. So I decided to start Behind the Silk, documenting my self-care journey of wheeling myself back to being an optimal human being. Because, girl, I mean, I was skipping workouts, I wasn't drinking water. Like, there were times my husband would call me at like 5 o'clock, "Hey, like, I'm on my way from home. Like, have you drank any water today?" And I'm like, "Have I drank any water today? Like, I actually don't even know." And it was just not a healthy situation. So Behind the Silk was documenting my self-care journey of getting back to myself and being a good founder. And then eventually I realized that I was cultivating a community of just like high achieving women who were like, girl, I was burnt out too. And I didn't even know that I was burnt out. And I'm like, join the club. Welcome to the family. Like, we're all just trying to figure this out. And then we changed the name to Boss Babe Reset, which is just self-care hacks for high achieving women so that they can build more sustainably. And that's how the origin of the podcast came about.
That is super dope. But at the same time, it's like, hey, burnt out people, let's
Right.
connect.
Let's do better. Okay, we're trying to do better.
What's been your most memorable or impactful podcast interview so far?
Ooh. So I had a conversation with she was a neuropath specialist, and she went really in depth in regards to understanding like the neural pathways of your brain. So if you constantly are thinking about negative things or things not going well and always thinking worst case scenario, your brain literally begins to carve pathways that always just think worst case scenario, and you literally can block yourself from your blessings just through your thoughts. So it was very
Yeah.
mindset focused. And as ambitious women, we are always thinking big. We want to achieve high things. We're extreme go getters. But if we continue to allow ourselves to get into these negative feedback loops in our mind, we are actually hindering our own progression and causing ourselves a lot more stress than we probably need. So that mental reset of always just being optimistic and always trying to think best case scenario was a very, very big shift for me, even personally.
Yes. And that resonates to me so much because it's so important for people to understand the power of the tongue. And a lot of times when you say something so much, you're going to become to find yourself living in that.
Yeah.
And you really have to transition your mindset. You even got to transition your surroundings. If people are
Hello.
speaking like that, it's no way possible you're going to find yourself prospering because it'll always come back to you to go back into maybe darkness, depression, feeling not motivated and everything when you're around people like that. But you have to find your safe space. You have to find your peace. You have to find the space to even just love yourself and get to know you all over again. Because we go through different stages when
Yeah.
we turn different ages.
Yeah, and that's one thing they don't tell you about trying to elevate yourself. Like sometimes you work so hard on doing the self-improvement and making yourself better and elevating that there comes a point where sometimes you elevate out of the friend groups, out of the family circles, out of the surroundings that you're used to. So I'm not saying to abandon all of your friends, but sometimes you have to find new friends that are a
Yeah,
little bit more in line with where you are in life. And sometimes you have to put some family members on the block list because they are just not motivating you or contributing anything positive towards your life. Like that's just the reality of trying to be better. So that's something that they don't talk about. I have been learning the hard way, child.
girl, I did too. I did too. May I ask, how old are you?
27.
Oh yeah, you're a baby.
Yeah.
You have it, but you're mature and you are ready. It's just a fact of you being that old and having that mindset right now. That's gold in itself. And you have so much more to grow into that. So I could definitely see you as a multimillionaire.
Thank you. Listen, put it on the atmosphere from your lips to God's ears, please.
Yes. So what's a piece of advice that you wish you could have given your younger self before starting this journey?
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
What's the one piece of advice you wish to give to yourself, your younger self, before starting this journey?
Oh, my younger self. She was very audacious. I would tell her to remain who she is. I say it all the time. I was the bossy girl on the playground, okay? I was the one, you come to the playground, I'm telling you what we're playing, whose teams you're on, how long we're playing for. I'm coming up with all of the rules. And growing up, I felt like a lot of the people around me, not my parents specifically, but other parents, family members just saw that as she's just too much. She's bossy. You need to get your child in check. And little did I know that at such a young age, I was already cultivating leadership skills that would benefit me long term. So being able to girl, I was organizing entire kickball tournaments at the park. Like, listen, on my little, we didn't have phones back then for real. So my little notepad, taking note, the chalk on the gravel. Like I was the coordinator, you
Doing the
know.
most.
So yeah, so having adults who saw that as such a negative it's really dimming. Like I felt like there were times where the outsiders wanted to dim my light, and I'm so grateful that my parents have always supported my audacity, and they've always pushed me to do more, be better, and to lead with just such confidence. So I think that's what I would tell my younger self, is like to lean into your audacity. Don't let anyone change that about you.
Yes, that is so true. So, speaking of change and you being absolutely different from most, how does Silken approach different from other clean beauty brands on the market today?
Yeah, so I actually hate the word clean because it's not a regulated term, but I guess
Really?
like we clean is not a regulated like term in the skincare industry. Like brands can take that word and do whatever with it. And
That's
I do
true.
believe that
That's
we need
true.
more, I do believe that we need more regulated, we need a little bit more regulation in the skincare space because it is truly the wild, wild west. But
Mhm.
the way that we go about pollution protection, so there are not a lot of brands in that niche. We are really, really leading the charge on pollution protection skincare, and by doing so by way of the microbiome. So in undergrad, I spent a lot of time on research teams understanding and studying the microbiome to help determine cause of death. So we're basically utilizing different pre and postbiotic strains and applying that to pollution protection.
Wow. So, as far as like, what's a common skincare as far as mistakes that people make when living in an urban and high pollution areas?
Ooh, yeah. So I think there's a couple things. So the first one is understanding like what the effects of pollution are. So like I mentioned earlier, pollution increases inflammatory skin conditions. So think acne, eczema, rosacea, dermatitis. So any of those inflammatory skin conditions. And with those, people don't really understand what protective measures they should be taking. So like, are you use first off, do you understand your skin type? Do you understand what products that you are using that are compatible with your skin type? And then are you using the proper moisturizers, the FPFs? Are you aware of how much blue light your face is encountering at these times? Do you know what your AQ levels are? Like, do you know what the pollution levels in your area are? Do you check that on your weather app before you go out in the day? So I think just being very mindful of your skin type, the products that you're using, and just understanding that is super huge, especially when living in a city.
Wow. So pollution and environment stressors aren't often talked about in skincare. What do you think that is?
I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. You know, I
Okay.
live in New York City, and I come across a lot of people who are new to the city. We have a lot of transplants in New York City right now, and
Okay.
especially people who've come from smaller towns. They're like they've come here and their skin is just acting up. Their hair is just not what it used to be. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, have you even fathomed that pollution could be a factor to that?
So, how has your forensic science background influenced the way you research as far as developing your products?
Yeah, I think it goes back to that microbiome first lens. I feel like that's one of our biggest selling points that I don't see a lot of other products on the market really addressing. And the fact that I'm forensic science in pre med, I really look at things from a clinical perspective. So we're not just throwing formulas together and making a lot of ridiculous claims. Like we are doing the studies that we need to do to make sure that we can make those claims and that they are substantiated. We are going for those eczema association seals and those psoriasis seals to make sure that our products are at max effectiveness and and very efficacious. So I think that's a very big benefit for us as well.
Wow. So, how do you stay up to date on the latest environmental skin research?
I still have my college login, so I have access to still like our collegiate database
Look at
to go through
you.
like the medical journals and all of those things. So I love to peruse. I have my filter set up. So like when something hits the news, it'll send it to my inbox. And I like to naturally keep up on those things.
Wow. So, what's the question you wish women would ask themselves more often?
Mm, am I okay?
Mm.
I think women are naturally just busybodies, and I suffer from it as well. There are many times where I find myself on the couch trying to not do anything, but my mind is still racing 100 miles a minute. Like, I'm thinking about what I need to do tomorrow, what needs to get done for next week, what do the family need, what does the team need? And very rarely, very well, more often than not, I think I forget to ask myself, "Girl, what do you need? Are you
Mhm.
okay?" So I think we need to also get into the habit more of checking in with ourselves, and that can be mentally. I'm also an advocate of very long showers. We call them everything showers. So like
Yes.
taking those times and like really like feeling your body, checking your chest. Does everything feel okay? Like looking at all of your nails and all of the like just I really want women to be obsessed with themselves, because when you're obsessed with yourself, when something is off, you pick up on it immediately. Like how many bowel movements do you have a day? Is your cycle regular? Are you bleeding regularly? Is your urine the right color? Do you feel any lumps on your body? Do you have any aches and pains? Like, are you okay? So I would definitely say that.
Yes. So what's next for you and Silken in the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, well, we are scheduled to launch this fall, so that is
Yeah.
very, very big for us. So definitely going into market. I think that we're gonna be launching on TikTok Shop exclusively first and then going DTC to our website. But yeah, definitely getting the product into market, getting feedback, really wanna start pitching retailers and some wholesale opportunities, and seeking out some very high visibility collaborations for sure.
Wow. That is amazing. So how can people tune into your podcast and also see about all the updates with Silken?
Yeah, well, if you enjoy me chatting, you can head over to Boss Babe Reset. It's available on all podcast platforms. To keep up to date with Silken and our launches, silken.com, SILKENN.com. You can join our wait list and be in the know for all of our events, activations. We have a lot of fun things coming up. And if you want to keep up on my life and the behind the scenes of being an actual founder, you can follow me on all social media platforms at the Ericka Nicole. That's ERICKA.
Okay. Thank you, Erica. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I am extremely proud of you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me and sharing your platform with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Life Her Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and also listen on all major platforms.